Welcome to MES e-learning channel. In the previous lecture, we had completed the basic differentiate between servlet and JSP. In current session, we are going to continue the differentiate between servlet and JSP by taking some more differences. First one is performance. Performance means what? Execution speed. Means servlet is a faster executing the code in compare with the JSP. So why? So look on the screen. There are some methods in the servlet. One is the init, second one is a service, third one is a destroy. So according to that, our servlet is going to execute. But in compare with the servlet, JSP is going to execute slowly because of our JSP code is in HTML format. We already learned that the primary language of the JSP is a HTML. So when you are going to execute the JSP, so first upon JSP code is translated into the servlet and then servlet is going to execute. That's why JSP is required much more time to execute in compare with servlet. Second one, difference between the containers. Only one container having in the servlet container and the name of the container become a servlet container. But our JSP having two types of container. One is a JSP container and the second one is a servlet container. So what is the use of JSP container? JSP container is used to translate your HTML code. Means what? The primary language of the JSP is HTML. So we have to translate our JSP code into the servlet. So we require the JSP container. Means entire this process, translation phase, done by the JSP container. And after converting into the servlet, this file assigned to the servlet container to execute. Means simply servlet container is used to execute servlet file and our JSP container is used to translate your JSP file into the servlet. So that's why servlet code written into the Java. So there is no need to translation because the entire code is already in Java format. So we required only one container which is called as a servlet container. But in JSP, we required JSP container to translate the code into the Java. Matlab JSP code translated into the Java and the servlet container is used to execute that code. Next difference between the implicit object. Implicit object means what? Already created objects. So servlet does not have any implicit objects. Means explicitly you have to build, you have to create objects by using respective interfaces or classes. As you see on the screen, here I am creating an instance of session interface. Explicitly I am creating the instance of session interface. But when I am going into the JSP code, so JSP already have a 9 implicit objects and the list of the objects are there. Request, response, out, session, application, page, page context, config and exception. And next one difference regarding session management. Session management is by default, it's not enabled in servlet. We have to explicitly create the object of the session and we have to enable the tracking. And within the JSP, implicitly tracking is enabled because of JSP have a inbuilt JSP implicit objects and within that list you see that session is a one implicit object is there. So in JSP you never need to create a explicitly new object for session. That's why by default session tracking is enabled in JSP. Thank you everyone.